So here we have the acrylic gloss medium. I'll put a little bit in here. Notice how milky it is. It only looks that way for a moment, and then once you've mixed it with a color and put it on your picture, it goes clear. So here's a badger hair brush. I like using badger hair brushes. I also use bristle brushes like that. So here it is. This is the acrylic medium. It's glossy, it's milky, but after you've put it on, you see it goes on milky, and then in a couple minutes it dries and it goes clear. So we'll be glazing with this and Indian yellow, and we'll also be glazing with a ultramarine blue or a cobalt blue, your choice. Open acrylics are really great because you add, rather than water, you have a little medium that you add, and they work like oils. You can see I can put a little bit on there, and wherever I see that shadow area, I'll put it on. Now normally an acrylic would be dry by now, so this way I'm putting on a thin layer of paint. We call a veil or a glaze, and where I see that shadow coming down here, I'm adding a little light. Then I take another brush and feather the edges to create that soft transition in the shadows. So just feathering the edges now. Then I'll take my feather brush, start from the outside, and start softening and layering. This is called stippling. It's a good way to spread the paint evenly. I could take a camel's hair brush or a sable brush and smooth it out nicely, but this brush goes more with what I used when I did the painting in the first place. Smooth is not what I'm after. Gradation of tone is more important. Now this is the front, so now I'm going to take a little ultramarine, which has red undertones. You can see it's a little more intense. Put a little bit there. Down here a little bit. Mostly the shadows on the bottom sides. Once again, take my little feather brush, soften the edge. Now there's an old saying, it says, amateurs are afraid to be bold and professionals are afraid to be timid. So I'm going to get a little bold here. Beautiful thing about acrylics is you can be bold, and if it ends up outrageous, you can always adjust it. So we're going to bring the shadows right over there. A little more bolder. Figure out where the trees might be. Might be a shadow coming right over here, see? The light is coming this way. So just a gentle flow. Now this area here I was pointing out a few minutes ago, that's great. I just give it a little bit more. Get a medium and a light, little dark area right there. Doesn't look like much up close, but it reads well from a distance. Well, there's bringing out some beautiful violets there. So I'm trying to be a little more bold. I can always add white, but in the boldness, I may just create a little more interest. Really add some darker areas. This probably would be one of the darker areas because it's on the down slope. Okay, now the sun would be hitting here. Probably be a little shadow on the end of that. There's a little recess. See these open paints, if I wanted to wash these off now, they would probably come off. Go right down here, darken it up. Probably not the greatest thing to have a big white spot right at the bottom of your painting. The eye will distract the eye over here. And now I'm continuing over the picture, adding some more shadow areas. So it's a very light veil, dark here to light. Dark, it's always about dark to light. Look up here, add a little more here. Very light veils of paint. We've got the shadows moving this way and lines moving this way. You'll notice I'm not fussy with my brush. It's poking here and poking there. See that nice purple in there? Deepen that. So the clouds here create a shadow, and that darker makes this stand out a little. Good. Well, I can see this tree here. You know, I'm going to add a little bit of ultramarine in there. By darkening even more behind the tree comes forward. You can see the half tones in here, they're effective. Now, there's my light spot here. I'm going to come on top of it and I'm going to cool up the area behind it with the ultramarine cobalt mixture. You can see it coming in there. It's a thin veil of paint. Now that's a very effective little spot. I want you to keep your eye on that. This is too heavy a transition here. I'm going to stipple in there. Stipple it. Put it around there. I will probably add some thin veils of white over the blue so that it'll have the right texture for snow. Right now, I'm just re-establishing a few values. Now this painting, I could spend 50, 60 hours more on it, depending on how much polish you want to bring to it. That's the difference between a sketch and a painting that is done in a studio. This started as a sketch, and then it's had a few sessions in the studio. And you keep adjusting values, adding, and you're using your visual memory. You actually remember the scene. You remember the feel of the air, clouds. So you're creating your own little world from your memory.